Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. I think today might be the biggest day for Commander 2014 spoilers. So many cards, the last two Planeswalkers. I'm slowly coming to the realization that I'm gonna have to buy all of these decks. Crap. Let's start off by talking about the most hilarious card that will ever be printed ever. Assault Suit is 4 colorless for an equipment with an equip cost of 3. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has haste, can't attack you or a planeswalker you control, and can't be sacrificed. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of equipped creature until end of turn. If you do, untap it. When I saw this card for the first time, I basically had a terrible nosebleed. Do you understand what this card does? Equip it to your biggest, most dangerous creature, like Zurgo or Ruhan. Then just attack someone. Then, on each of your opponent's turns, give it to them. Then they attack each other. Just let me explain. The equipment is always under your control, which means that you specifically cannot be attacked. As the creature changes controllers, it doesn't change the fact that you can't be attacked. Example, if you give control of your Ruhan of the Fomori to your opponent, and the trigger randomly chooses you, Ruhan doesn't attack this turn because he can't attack you. This equipment is incredibly dangerous. Games will end from commander damage sooner than they ever have before. It isn't even that expensive, and you protect your creature from sacrifice effects of other players. The card's so good. Should have been a rare. Uncommon doesn't give it justice at all. This is like a Corona False God that never turns its back on you. What more could you ask for? Crown of Doom is the latest addition to the Zedru Commander Party. 3 mana for an artifact. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. You can also pay 2 colorless to have target player other than the owner of the crown gain control of it. That last part is important. You play the crown, but then once you pass it off, it can't come back to you. That's a huge step up from previous cards like this. Also why it's great for Zedru. You can give it away and never have to worry about it coming back. Just let your opponents fight each other. The politics in the Commander 2014 decks are insane so far. I focus on Zedru, but this can go in pretty much anything if you want. The card's hysterical. Oh man, here we go. Nahiri the Lithomancer is 3 colorless and 2 white for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. You can +2 to put a 1/1 white core soldier token onto the battlefield. You may attach an equipment you control to it. You can -2 to put an equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. You can also -10 to put a colorless equipment artifact token named Stoneforged Blade onto the battlefield. It has indestructible, equipped creature gets +5/+5 and has double strike, and the equip cost is 0. What? I'm not even sure where to start. Nahiri is the Stoneforged Mystic to end all Stoneforged Mystics. You +2 to get a creature and you equip something for free. You -2 to Stoneforge an equipment from your hand or yard. Batterskull, Jit, any sword ever. It's an insane ability. I'm not even going to look at the -10 that creates the most insane equipment ever with an equip cost of 0. -10 would be a dream to reach, but her real value is in the +2 and -2. Creature generation plus free equipping is amazing. Bringing equipments in from wherever you want is amazing. The one thing this does tell us for sure, much like how the red commander deck is an artifact deck, the white one is an equipment deck. Miss the old days of Zendikar and the core? You don't have to miss it for much longer. They're coming back in a huge way. Let me blow your mind really quickly. You know Nahiri's +2? Yeah, that, ready for this? Plus Skull Clamp. Enjoy the free cards every turn. Everyone will hate you forever, including yourself. Everyone, we finally found a way to control Ruin. Dulcet Sirens is 3 mana for a 1/3 Siren with a morph cost of 1 blue. You can pay 1 blue and tap it to have target creature attack target opponent this turn. Again with the politics. This card goes right into Ruan decks, Animar decks, Angus Mackenzie decks. Basically any strategy that enjoys the taste of your friend's tears. That's where you'll find Dulcet Sirens. Great card, so funny. Malicious Affliction is 2 black mana for an instant with Morbid. When you cast it, if a creature died this turn, you may copy it and choose a new target for the copy. Destroy target non-black creature. Now this is a card that could see constructed play. Having a double Doomblade on a Morbid stick is amazing, even if it's for 2 black mana in Eternal formats that shouldn't be that difficult to make happen. Being able to kill 2 creatures for 2 mana is always a good thing, always. Of all the cards released so far, I think this one speaks the most to the constructed players. It may be too soon to tell, but a double kill spell for 2 mana? Come on, you gotta admit that's pretty bonkers. The Planeswalker who came out of nowhere, Daretti Scrap Savant, is 3 colorless and 1 red for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker. You can +2 to discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many. You can -2 to sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Lastly, you can -10 to get an emblem with, whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. There's a lot going on here. Let's break this down. First of all, for all of you slow bad fans who are upset he isn't the Goblin Planeswalker, just stop it. He was a walker for like 2 minutes. It wouldn't make any sense. Just be happy you got a Goblin Planeswalker at all. With that PSA done, this card is weird. The +2 is fine to get rid of cards you don't need, but it doesn't really give you any card advantage. In Commander, especially in an artifact/red strategy, you really won't have that many dead draws, but the ability is fine. His -2 is where the value is. It's reminiscent of Trash for Treasure or even Goblin Welder. It's undoubtedly powerful. Clearly synergizes with the rest of the red Commander deck, which is basically confirmed to be a full artifact strategy. Between Daretti and Felden, you Kirkesh players must be freaking out. It'll be difficult for the other decks to get anywhere near this amount of synergy. Wizards focusing on a solid red Commander deck is a nice change, gotta say. The color needed the boost. What cards are you looking to play with Daretti? Nevinyrral's Disc is a great place to start, just saying. Scrap Mastery is 3 colorless and 2 red for a sorcery. Each player exiles all artifacts from their graveyard, then sacrifices all artifacts they control, then puts all cards exiled this way onto the battlefield. Okay, so basically the card moves your graveyard artifacts to the battlefield and your battlefield artifacts to the graveyard. Essentially, you're looking at the artifact version of Living Death. That should be enough evidence for you to know that it'll be super playable. One of the best interactions. Sacrifice all your artifacts to Krark Clan Ironworks, cast the Mastery, and boom, you have them all back, but this time you have a crap ton of mana. Seriously, you red artifact players, just throw a party for yourselves. This couldn't get any better for you. Cause more red stuff, Tyrant Familiar is 5 colorless and 2 red for a 5/5 dragon with Flying Haste and Lieutenant. As long as you control your commander, it gets +2/+2, and whenever it attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. Not the most exciting ability I've ever seen, but Kaalia could always use more friends, am I right? The ability is devastating, especially to opposing commanders. 7 toughness? Yeah, not safe. The card's interesting. You'll see it in Kaalia, Karthus, or even Scion of the Dragon. Being able to copy the Familiar to deal all the damage? Yeah, that's real good. Wave of Vitriol is 5 colorless and 2 green for a sorcery. Each player sacrifices all artifacts, enchantments, and non-basic lands they control. For each land sacrificed this way, its controller may search their library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Well, here's a card that hoses any deck that wants to run Privilege Position. Also, it does a good job of trying to disrupt the red Commander deck. Granted, it's at 7 mana, the ability is still powerful. Getting rid of all non-basic lands is also relevant against pretty much any deck that isn't the Commander 2014 Precon, so that's sort of awkward, but beyond that, it's a fun card. Also, for the record, this might have the most annoying synergy ever with Aven Mind Sensor, so for all you green-white players who want to make your friends cry, yeah, that'll do it. We also got confirmation that the Diamond Cycle is coming back all the way from Mirage. I loved these cards back in the day, and it's nice to see them getting some love. Plus, take a look at this art for each of them. Seriously amazing, especially the blue one. Not saying I'm biased or anything, but Sky Diamond is looking really, really good. I love new art. Once again, we end the day with some ridiculous spoilers. Which ones are you most excited about? Now that we have all 5 Planeswalking Commanders revealed, does that change which decks you're going to buy? Pretty in love with Nahiri. Not even the card, the art alone has me swooning. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.